Yeah, it's been a fucking hell of a trip. Let's bring the boys in tonight. We got Mr. KP Phoebus, JT Ferris, and we have Mr. Morgan Warren. What's going on, gentlemen?
This is it.
This is it.
Not much.
You're in
I still
Edmonton.
don't think you're in Mexico. I think
Yeah,
that's a
I
fake
know, you think it's
backdrop.
some fucking blue screen bullshit.
It's blue screen.
It's a fake thing you can add in.
You don't leave your house.
No, normally I don't. Actually, I'm doing the same shit here I normally do at home. I'm drinking on Carl's deck, listening to Cruise FM instead of drinking on my own deck, listening to Cruise FM. I'll tell you right now, temperature's 28 degrees. With the wind chill, it's 28 degrees. You know, most men suffer in silence, as they say. How was Remembrance Day?
It was nice. It was pretty low key.
Did you get back in the army or what?
No, not yet. Not yet.
No, like did you get a phone call, like a gift basket, anything? No. Fuck
Even
all.
so, I actually, because the Kingsway Legion is not far from my place, so
Yeah.
I went over there like kind of like at around noon, and everybody thinks I'm out of the army. Like people are like, hey man, like when did you get out? And I'm just like I'm still in, motherfucker. And like these are like some higher ranking people too, like people that probably should know better, but whatever, I don't really care.
Yeah, they're dog paddling in the sea of wasted effort, trying to not get charged with sexual harassment, worried about inclusion or something.
Yep.
So that must have been fucking morale boosting. That senior ranking guys that are drinking a Legion don't even know you're not in the military. That you're not in the military.
Yeah. Like people have no idea, and even guys like I know that are like I'll say very good acquaintances. They're not friends, but like guys that I serve with, guys that are still in, like guys that are like sergeant majors, like company commanders and shit like that. Guys who they know me, like make no bones about it, and they had no idea. They thought we thought you got kicked out like a year ago, and I'm just like, yeah,
Wow.
okay, well,
maybe you guys should. Yeah, fuck it, I'll leave that. So
I'm past the point now of caring about it. Like it's kind of like I've hit 1 year. That's pretty cool. That's pretty funny, right?
They're still fucking paying you, bro.
I know. Like I'm
paying you.
Think about it. 1 year of pensionable time, and I've been hanging out with you losers. Like, come on, like.
You're gonna get a fucking CD too, and not have been to work in 10 years because you were left out of battle.
I hope so.
Hey Ryan, that's pretty wild. JT, what did you do? You were working. So you were keeping the city safe.
I was keeping you guys safe. Well, maybe not you, Chris, but no, it was pretty low key. I think the most interesting thing that happened to me was the bishop gave me a quick text, said thank you for your service. So that was interesting. But I can definitely relate with Morgan. Like I'm in the same situation. Everyone's like, "You're still in?" I'm like, "Yeah, still around." Still kind of doing my thing, but
I don't know, man. If you're getting that shit, it's time to punch out. But that's for you. But for a guy like Morgan, it's like fuck you guys. You want to pay me to sit at home?
Yeah.
After a year of go home, fine, whatever. Keep paying me. I'll take 100% of warrant officers' pay to spew CO2 all day.
All day long.
All day, every day.
Yep.
Yeah. Just a question. How does Chris in Mexico have a better connection? Fuck right, man. Ryan's got a great question because Carl has the best fucking internet in Mexico, man. It's fiber-fed internet. And
it's fiber optic all the way from Alberta. They just run the cord all the way down.
Hanging out. I got to come over and unfuck that Wi-Fi extender I gave you. Something's not working. You should have a better connection.
And you're sitting on the wireless, bro.
Yeah, I'm on wireless, but his audio is always good. His video is fucked up. Anyways, I got a cool thing from. So remember that thing we did last week, Morgan?
Yeah.
For the kids there.
Yeah.
So I got this from Jenna, who's the teacher at that school. I got two photos actually. I can only show one. I'll explain why I can't show the other one. So this was pretty cool. This is a photo of the for those of you listening, not watching. I'm showing a photo from the back of the classroom up to a big screen TV of all the kids watching the Remembrance Day Q&A for all the kids at Holy Name. I know it's a weird name. Holy Name Catholic School in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. And we answered their questions. We didn't swear. We didn't smoke. We didn't drink, and that's hard for me to do for 40 minutes. But I think we did a good job.
And we pulled it off. It was a miracle. One take too.
What I can't show, which this is how out of touch I am, and I'm an old guy, right? What I can't show is she sent a picture of all the kids holding up like one letter. It says, "Thank you, Chris, Morgan, Bryce." But I can't show it because there's child protective service laws that don't let you post kids' pictures on social media without express written consent of the fucking family. I'm like, what? I went, fair enough. So I was gonna, if I wasn't in Mexico, I could blur their faces out and shit.
Yeah.
At home, but I'm down in Mexico. So we got a big shout out from those kids that watched that. That was a lot of fun, man. That really kind of made my whole
that's cool, yeah.
Remember Say thing is to be able to do that, and we kept our shit tight, and it was good. So that was a lot of fun. But that's the world we live in. There's Mr. Paulaway. Oh my God! This is the fear mongering bastard. No, wait, we're trying to dispel your myths. And he just down here doing a photo shoot, so I'm calling bullshit.
Now, see here, Chris. So, like, here, I'll be like the guy in the middle. I don't agree. I don't agree. I don't agree with what he's saying, and like, I still think it's safe. I think the best part about Mexico or any of those like Central American countries, like, things could go sideways there. It's like always on like the brink of an insurgency. Like, shit could go sideways, but more than likely it won't.
Okay.
More than likely it won't.
Listen,
and that's why it's so. Thing. That's why it's. That's what I love about it.
Where's my beer? So here, for ladies and gentlemen, the premise of this podcast is to talk about, because I was, for lack of a better topic, because I'm on vacation. I wasn't going to do one tonight. I said, fuck it, we're doing it. Travel advice from an army guy's perspective, not so much from that of what the government of Canada or the US STA, whatever the fuck they're called, travel advisory people would say. And obviously I'm in Mexico, but at the end of the day, the three of us that you're looking at right now, Bryce couldn't be with us tonight. As military guys, we've had the privilege to be able to travel to a lot of places, and obviously we approach it differently than your average bear. So I want to get into, the do's and don'ts from our perspective of how to travel. So let's dive into that. And the first thing is, don't necessarily believe everything the government tells you.
It sounds like something I'd say. It sounds like something I'd say, Chris.
Go ahead.
I said no. You said don't believe everything the government tells you.
Yeah.
I was like, it sounds like something I would say.
So everybody's like, I don't trust the government, blah blah blah, and then the first thing they do is go to the government travel advisory thing. So I did some marginal effort research today. I said Mexico travel advisory was my Google search term, and the first thing that comes up is the U.S. one, and it basically lists every state in Mexico, and it says all the same shit. And if you read that thing from end to end, you would not even bother coming down here.
Yeah.
And then, so you look at Canadian media and it gets sensationalized. Oh, there was a murder in Cancun in a resort. 2 Canadians killed. And I'm going, okay, well, let's wait and see how this pans out. Because here's how it panned out. Well, they were drug dealers.
Yeah.
Dealing drugs where there's local drug dealers who don't want them dealing drugs. So guess what happens to you?
Yeah. Well, Chris, it's the same thing. The media in Canada sensationalizes. Think of all of our handgun problem. We don't have a handgun problem. We got a drugs and gang problem in built up cities. Like,
yeah,
it's like exactly like
that's exactly it. So don't believe
a bunch of people got shot in downtown Toronto. I'm like, yeah, a bunch of gangbangers.
Exactly. More people were killed in Toronto in the last month than Canadian tourists were in Mexico anywhere. Yeah. So let's kind of walk through to dive into this. So again, I've traveled a lot of places in the world. I know you guys have as well, because we've been privileged enough to do that either as part of our career or, our lifestyles thereafter. And I'm going to break this down and tell everybody right now that how I approach travel is the way I approach operational planning. And the first thing is self-assess. Are you a bold, adventurous type like we are? Or are you the I want to just go to a resort into basically a I don't know, a gated community, if you will, where everything's taken care of and you're allegedly secure. If that's you, this what we're going to talk about is not for you.
Yeah.
I'm go out and see shit guy. I like to go to the bars where locals go, whether it's in Europe, whether it's in Mexico, whether it's in Bali, Indonesia, Thailand, wherever.
Yeah.
I like to eat where locals go. I don't want to go to. I'm not looking for a fucking Denny's, and I apologize if any Americans are listening or watching this. I'm not ripping on you, but I kind of am because it feels like Americans are the most paranoid fucking people wherever I go and the least educated in how to travel. So the first thing I want to talk about is again self-assessment. If you're not comfortable or adventurous, go to those resorts. If you are, okay, we're going to move forward. Number one, recce. That's a term for reconnaissance. Do your homework before you go somewhere. Yeah, look at what the government website says for travel advisories, but also look at what TripAdvisor says. Look at what other people, real people, not fear mongers, say about those places, and fucking judge yourself accordingly from that. Don't get all wrapped around the axle and be scared to go somewhere because you heard on the news that somebody was killed there. Like, it's like, take a minute and do your homework. Do your homework before you go, based on your personality. I want to go to, and I'm going to use Sayulita, Mexico. So Sayulita is a small hippie surfer town. How many Ks north, Carl?
31.
31 kilometers north of Puerto Vallarta. So Puerto Vallarta is a major hub. It's way in the south on the west coast of Mexico. And Sayulita is a small surfer town. It's full of surfer hippies. 70% of the population here are expats. 70% of that number are Canadians or Americans or Brits, whatever, Europeans. And it's a very chill space. So do your homework, like look that up and look at reviews and, do that, we'll call detailed map recce, and figure out where you're going first and figure out before you even go there, like from 30,000 feet, is that a safe place to be? Does that make sense to you guys? Do you do that when you travel?
Yeah, I do the same thing there, Chris. Like, I don't know. You need to know where you are to know where you're going. But yeah, I'm the same thing. So it's a case of like quick kind of high level overview of like what's going on in the news in the area that I'm going, environmental as well too. So I'm always checking the weather. But for me, I need to have like a good grip on the layout of the land, like where I'm going, like where's north, south, west, all that other good stuff, and just really orientate myself to the ground. And then from there, I feel way more comfortable. But yeah, I'm pretty much board shorts, flip flops kind of guy wherever I go. So that's the only kind of
That's
real
literally what I'm
piece of
wearing right
advice
now.
I can give to everybody.
Yeah.
But yeah, I need to know what's going on. I need to know what like where I'm at, where I'm to, and not like I'm just aware, like, especially if it's international travel, like if they're hating on a certain demographic or XYZ. But usually with a lot of these like incidences that happen, it's because people have made poor life choices, like a series of poor life choices that ended them in
Yeah.
that situation.
Like,
And like, don't get me wrong, like I was down, where was I? It was, I'll have to remember the area, but like we were there for a wedding, and the locals had AK-47s just like for the police and running around doing things. And then we went to a facility that was a little risque. We'll just leave it at
that's
that.
actually a good point because you and I, guys like us, are used to seeing people with guns.
Yeah, but then we're also used to when like it's time to
landing in an
go.
airport where Buddy's wearing fucking camouflage and he's got an MP5, and that's normal life.
Yeah,
So
Punta Cana. It was Punta Cana. That's where we
yeah,
were at.
that
Yeah,
was
we went off the rails. Went to the
went off the
local.
rails.
Well, yeah, we did go off. We went off the rails and off the rails, so a double off the rails. But yeah, it's just know where they're where the locals are at. Know what you can kind of push, but at the same time, like read a room. When someone's like, "You should go," that's the time to go.
Well, we're gonna get into that. All I'm saying is do your homework, understand the geopolitical climate, Make sure it fits you. If you're the adventurous type and you want to get off the beaten path, know what's going on down there in advance and do your fucking homework. That's all I'm saying. I'm not trying to, this isn't a tool to scare people off. These are just things that we do prior to going anywhere. It's just because it's in my head. Recce first. All right. Now I'm fortunate enough down here that I have friends that have been here, and we're at Carl's fucking house. He lives here. He's got a house here. So I got down here and I continue to do recce by going out and meeting people and sitting down and talking with them and getting a feel for the place. It's so that's kind of, and then this is in no particular order for everybody's watching this, but networking. Let's talk about that. The first thing I do, and I did this my last trip down here, is my second trip down. I'm going to be back down again in March. Is go find the players. Find out not the fucking fake players. You should be able to smell them a mile away. The legit players who've been here a long time that you can sit down and talk to, ask the hard questions, dispel your fears and the myths that you've been fed, and get the real story. So I had the privilege of meeting a few people. Some Canadians have been down here for 35 years. I met some locals that are from here, and they'll answer those questions that you might be afraid of, like the things that might generate fear and your willingness to branch out and go check things out to avoid you from hiding in those fucking bullshit resorts and getting out and seeing everybody. I'll tell you right now, man, what I've learned one thing in all the places on this planet I've been is people are the same no matter where you go. Their approach to life and how they manage their day-to-day might be a bit different, but I can tell you right now, they want the same thing as everybody else. They want to work and put food on the table for their families, make a couple bucks, have a good life, go out and get a beer on a Friday night, whatever. That's what those people want to do. So you just gravitate towards those people, find them, talk to that guy that owns that bar, talk to that dude, that cab driver, whoever, man, and start networking, right? And moving forward, do not look like a tourist. If you show up with the straw cowboy hat down here with the tag still hanging off of it, and you're wearing a shirt that says I Heart MX, holding a map with a shiny gold Rolex and a fat gold chain, white as fucking can be, because you haven't seen the sun in days, you are a target, man. Don't look like that. Dress like me. Dress the same way you do as home. Dress casual, dress chill. Don't flash no cash. When you go to that bank machine, don't be pulling out. It doesn't matter what country you're in.
Yeah, don't flash the cash.
Don't flash any fucking cash anywhere, man.
No.
There's no need for that. There's Danielle.
Well, that's what happened to me. I had to learn that lesson the hard way.
Oh, you look
in
like
New
a
York.
guy who get rolled.
Oh, 100% I got rolled, man. I just like opened up my wallet.
I
It's like,
wanna
yeah,
hear
man,
this story, man.
I'm gonna take those
Hey,
M&Ms.
is up.
Yeah, here's your M&Ms. Oh my God, did I already tell? I told you this story though, didn't I?
Yeah, but you just haven't told the entire internet. So let's go.
Yeah, I want to hear it now. Come on.
No,
I want to hear this.
it was legit. So it was in New York. It was like 9/11, big hole in the ground.
Oh, back
But,
when you were underneath the bar that was underneath Ground Zero.
Well, that was the thing. You got to look up. You got to have
That's
that drink,
look
right?
up.
So
you got rolled in New York. Please go.
yeah, I
on.
totally got rolled in New York.
Educate
So
people.
so there I am. I'm just like in awe of like this historical event and et cetera, et cetera. Don't want to diminish it, but yeah, it was crazy. So there I am, just in awe. And this fella that was enormous walks up to me and is like, "Listen, I'm selling some M&Ms for my intercity basketball team, and I just want to see if you'd be willing to buy a couple of these M&Ms." Like he's just got this big box of like Costco M&Ms, like peanut M&Ms, and he's like, "Yeah, so like, how about if you wouldn't mind just buying a box here, and I'll hook you up." So I'm just like, what is happening? But I'm not giving this guy the credit he deserves. Like he was going a mile a minute, and he was just selling it, and he was just spitting this out, and he's like, "You're gonna buy a box of M&Ms." I'm like, "Okay." So I open up my wallet, and he's like, you know what? I'm gonna take $100 from you. Literally, in my wallet, takes out the $100, and he's like, here's a box of M&Ms for you, buds. I just want to let you know you are making dreams happening with this this basketball team. You are making people happy. You are going to be facilitating probably the next people that are going to be going into the NBA. Like, you are a good man. And you know what? From this donation, here's another box of M&Ms. $100. I didn't tell Vanessa this, so she's gonna have to watch this to see it. It wasn't $20. It was $100. This guy took out of my wallet. I got 2 boxes of M&Ms. So like any other regular person, I finished 1 box of M&Ms passive aggressively, and then when Vanessa came back and found me with her friend, they're like, where'd you get that box of M&Ms from? I'm like, it cost me $20.
Don't
like,
worry about it.
Don't worry about it. I was
You're
like,
I got 2.
I got 2, but like, I don't know. It was bad, man. Like, but it emphasizes that point, man. Like,
you can get fleeced fast because they can smell tourists a mile away. And I said earlier, I said, don't dress like a tourist, even if you don't, even if you're dressed like I am right now, right? I got camo shorts, flip flops, camo ball hat, same shit I wear back home in the summer. They know I'm a gringo. They know I don't live here. Until I live here, they know I don't. And if there's a guy that has an opportunity to make a buck off me, he is going to do that because that's just the way it is. If you can navigate that water and understand how that works and still be polite about it, just say no, man. It's fine. It's not a problem.
But it's also like I can look back on it now, and enjoy kind of, or like share that experience and laugh about it and have some people learn from it. But that's also the fun of traveling, right? Like, you get kind of rolled or you get pickpocketed, or these things happen to the best of us, like really to the best of us.
Let's go around the horn, and Morgan will start. What's the most fucking foreign place you've ever been on vacay, HLTA, whatever?
I don't really. I mean, I don't really know off the top of my head. Christ.
Well, it doesn't have to be crazy.
No, I mean, like, I'm trying to think. Like, I mean, I've been to obviously I've been like Mexico and the Dominican, and I've even been to Puerto Rico. Those places. I mean, even on like TLD, going to like downtown Cyprus and stuff like that could be a little bit weird too, right?
Yeah,
for
sure.
Those were weird. I remember another TLD I did. We were in on the island of Crete. That was interesting. Like, that was pretty wild. Like, not knowing what was going on, and so that was it was probably somewhere like that. It was probably Crete or maybe the Dominican. But like, but like, no, I never ever had any crazy. I've never got rolled. I never had nothing crazy happened to me because, like you said, you know where you're going. You do your recce's. Read the room. Don't be stupid. Don't do your best to blend in. And just don't attract attention to yourself.
Don't be a target. I mean, or at least minimize the opportunity to become a target.
Yeah.
Right. Like, leave the fancy watch at home. Don't flash any cash. Like, if I think there's an opportunity to get rolled. So when I roll around down here, I put, if I'm going to go out, I do an estimate of how much money I think I actually need. So I got X thousand pesos in my pocket. And in my wallet, I got 50 pesos. My Visa's not in there. I don't use my credit card down here. Like, there's nothing in there. So if I'm going to get rolled, I'm going to hand the guy my wallet, and I leave the rest of my shit in my pocket. Is that going to work every time if I got rolled? Like, first of all, I've never been rolled. But I plan as if I was gonna, don't carry around a big fat stack in your wallet. Like, just like think smart, That, like, I'm not trying to create paranoia and fear for everybody. Like, hide all your fucking shit in a safe, blah blah blah. But just think smarter. Like, would you walk around downtown Edmonton, Toronto, Vancouver, Calgary, whatever, with $3,000 cash in your pocket? No, you wouldn't do that. You just wouldn't do that because you don't need to do that. So, like, think about how you would roll at home. Think about what you perceive as risks at home, and do the same thing abroad, but base that on, a little bit of recce and a little bit of information gathering, and, carry yourself confidently, Travel in groups where possible. This is normal shit that you hear on the advisories. Well, women shouldn't travel at night alone. Well, fuck, man. Here's a fucking newsflash. Women shouldn't travel at night alone anywhere. Not here, not at home, not anywhere. Right? Nobody should travel alone. At 2 a.m, you're stumbling back from a bar in a shit part of town or a part of town, even if it's good that you don't know. They will fucking pick you out a mile away and pick you off. So be smart. Don't be paranoid, but be smart.
Yeah.
It's funny that you say that, Chris, because like I can echo that statement. Like it was in Cyprus and
Is this
annihilated.
another I got rolled story? Because I'm all in, man.
No, I almost didn't come back home. Like so, we were in Cyprus, decompression, etc., etc. Everyone's probably got a great story about this, but I was completely annihilated, and I thought 100% like it was game over for me. Like they're just gonna put me in a closet somewhere, throw me like down, like just lock me up.
Yeah.
100% lock me up, and I'm like, and I was like, again, I was out of state. Like I was in an altered state. Let's just leave it at that. I was polluted. But it was because I was, it was luck. It was sheer luck. These people just threw me back at the hotel. Whereas I was really in a bad, like I was in a bad state. I had no means to either defend myself or help myself out. And I was totally left at the kindness of strangers. You know me, Chris. Like I have a bizarre level of luck. Like when the DM made me at the beginning of life, my luck level was through the roof. But the thing is, you can't be in, like, especially if you're traveling, you really have to be mindful of that state that you kind of get to, and you can't be and again, everything was wrong. I was by myself, didn't have any backup, no plan to get out of there, and like I was in a bad situation because like I was escalating certain things like at the location I was at, loud, not being super respectful, not being anything, just being loud, boisterous, and just blowing off some steam. But
JT,
lucky enough, somebody got a hold of me and got me home.
Let's be honest, brutally honest.
Sure.
Everybody I know in my entire life, you are the closest fucking person to Clark Griswold on the planet. Like you are. You are full Griswold, man. Like you're the guy. You're the guy that's gonna everything that you're talking about is gonna happen to.
Yeah, like and it's a series of like
in any negative way. I'm like there's gonna be a guy, man.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's a series of misfortunate events. It's like, oh, he's gonna die, and then all of a sudden, it's like crazy pivot. Let's just grab him. Let's just grab this little baby bird. Let's just take him home nice and safe. Let's just tuck him into bed.
I can remember being like, I can remember being like witness to things like that. But like I said, I had the good sense that, like you said, know the room, know your surroundings, know where you are. Don't be an asshole. But I mean, we all know, like in a lot of these like Eastern European countries, and some of the bars and pubs, they're run by some shady individuals, to say the least.
Yeah.
And man, I can remember being in Cyprus and like someone, we're all sitting around drinking beer like normal people, and like one of the, some young private comes running up and he's like, yeah, Sergeant, Warrant, so and so is, been fucking just got like, rolled up by, some fucking mafioso characters in some fucking bar that you're not supposed to be at anyway.
Now, funny you mentioned that. I'm going to tell you guys a war story. Put your helmets on for you kids at home. I'm going to date myself here a bit.
So there I was at Captain Jack's.
No, that's another story because I know that.
Wait, what was that, Cat? What was that place?
Jack's shut down. That's in Budapest.
Oh my God.
Cyprus, 1992. It is August, about mid-August, 92. We just landed in Cyprus for my first deployment ever. So 92, I was 21 years old. Fuck, I had my hammer pants on, my fanny pack, my big glasses. I was killing it.
I was 10.
We were told, do not go to this Russian mafia-owned bar where all these whiskey dollies are. And whiskey dollies are these Thai hookers, okay? So what do? Night one, we go down to this fucking bar.
Obviously,
why wouldn't we?
Yeah,
We were
that's
just
the
told
place.
not to. We were just told not to. Of course, we're going to that bar.
We're
We're
going.
down there.
It's the only place I know in town at this point.
Yep. We're drinking our faces off because that was war fighting back then. And there's all these Filipino and Thai chicks and shit all over us and stuff. But we're not like, no, thank you, blah, blah, blah. We're just drinking.
Sure you were.
Time to go. We get the bill, and it's like, I can't remember what it was, but it was fucking way more money than we had. And we're like, well, wait a minute. We just bought these drinks, which are overpriced drinks. And they're like, no. You got to pay for their company, whether you're going to go get it on or not.
Yeah.
We're like, what? Well, we didn't. So then we're getting our backs up because we're tough UN peacekeepers. And then the Russian.
Chris, can I ask real quick? Like, were you still like 45 pounds soaking wet?
At best. But man, I had conviction. But I was surrounded by people with me who crumbled like chip bags, and we paid them, and we got the fuck out of there. So that's recce by fire right there. Learn, where not to go the hard way. Sometimes you learn the hard way what not to do. Anyways, I'm going to bring in my man Carl, Mr. Carl Coventry. He's going to jump in here. He is a good friend of mine. Again, 32-year veteran of the armed forces, 7 deployments overseas, and an all-around nice guy.
Oh my God. What an intro.
Take the seat.
What an intro.
And so he lives down here now. We're at his Casa del Coventry. And Carl is going to give you some advice. If you're coming to Mexico or the Jalisco area in general, spit some whimsical.
Carl, before you start, I have a very important question for you.
Go ahead.
What do you have for an outdoor cooking device out there?
I have a Next Grill.
So you don't have the ability to smoke anything down there.
I have my
make smoke pouches.
I can make smoke pouches in my barbecue. I also have a nice charcoal barbecue as well. Carl's an amazing cook. Trust me, he's better than me. Yeah, and at home in Edmonton, I have a Louisiana smoker, man.
You sure do.
I do all of those things. And a Louisiana is way better than a Traeger because I sold my Traeger to Chris. That is a fact.
That's another conversation. That's a whole other show. But Carl, I didn't mean to derail you. Thanks for joining us.
Hey, no worries. I don't know. I'll put it to the floor. Anybody can ask me some questions. I can tell you a little bit about Mexico and the Mexico lifestyle. It's spectacular. I'll tell you, I don't know of any place I'd rather be than here. But there's no reason to be afraid. No, God, no, never. Not here. I'll give you a little story. I drove a car to Mexico from Edmonton, and I'm going to tell you what kind of car. A Chevy Spark. Now, I don't know if you know what a Chevy Spark looks like, but it is basically a shoebox with 4 doors. And I drove that thing for 5 days. But I'll tell you a little story. And I was going through Sinaloa. I had just come into Mexico, probably day 2 into Mexico, between Las Mochas and Nogales in Sinaloa country. I pull over to check the map. Bad idea. When I pulled over to check the map, I should have pulled into the service station, the Pemex that was sitting right there. But no, as a good Canadian, hey, not thinking, I'll just pull my car over. Well, the federales pulled in behind me. And then the shakedown began. First, they told me it was, it's a $330 American fine to stop your vehicle on the side of the highway. I said, thank you, and drove away. Wasn't the end of the story because, boy, they came right after me. And long story short, they're smart. They're really smart. They had the Google Translate on. They had masks, helmets, goggles. You couldn't see their face, right? They hand you the phone. The phone says, I want $330 American. You type into the phone, I don't have it. They typed into the phone, how much you got? I don't know. I put in there $180 American. Takes it from me, gives it back to me, gives me back the phone. I'll take it. So he takes $180. And in between, he's trying to reach in and grab the keys to my car. He wants the keys. The other fellows has got an MP5 and he's ready to rock and roll. I'm calm as can be. He didn't get the keys because I turned my car off. I put the keys in my pocket. And then, so we go back to the phone. We go back to the phone. He says, well, I'll take 3,000 pesos. I said, well, I haven't got 3,000 pesos, bro. Well, how much do you have? I said, 1,000. I'll take the 1,000. Moral of the story is he took all my money and gave me a fist bump and let me go. But here's the reality. Ladies and gentlemen, giving me freaking money. Don't travel with a ton of money like Chris says. Imagine now if I had $5,000, right? They're shaking you down for whatever they can get from you. And believe me, in Sinaloa, you could have went down any dirt road. He could make you dig a hole, and that's the end of your days, man. Nobody would ever find you, you know? So really, I tell that to some of my Mexican friends. They get all embarrassed, and they get mad, and they get angry, and yeah, this is bullshit, and it's wrong, and Carl, you shouldn't have given it to him. I sit there going, man, you weren't there, number one. Two, we're all fine, man. Nobody died.
Yeah.
I made it to my house. All good. I made it to Los Mochis. It was a good trip.
Now, would you do the trip again?
Oh, absolutely.
There you go.
Absolutely. Because
So,
every trip's a
We're
learning
not trying to
event.
scare the fuck out of everybody. The question is, would you do the trip again? He's learned from what you do and don't do. Again, experience.
Yeah.
It's not trying to paint a negative picture of what. Who is fucking around? I told you guys to hit mute when you fucking cocksuckers are fucking with your kid. I gotta put this shit to audio.
Hey.
Fuck's sake, man.
It's all good. You know what? Like everything we do in the military, it's stick to the main road, stick to the main drag. The highways in Mexico are spectacular. Because toll highways, the locals don't drive on it because they have to pay. So now I can tell you how good the highways are. And in Sayulita, we're building this amazing big highway right now. That's going to be open up to the interior of Mexico, which is going to be freaking spectacular, man. I can't wait. Plus, it's going to raise the prices of all our houses, so that's always good.
Oh yeah.
Hey, Carl, I got a question for you. And again, just to kind of echo what Chris was saying, like this is just the realities of travel. Like these things happen, and I've been in similar situations, more so in the U.S., which I would argue is scarier. But
I debate that. I'll debate that with you because I've done so much riding in the States. It's unbelievable, man. And I've had nothing but really good experiences there.
Yeah. Again, another.
That with you.
I'd rather have that kind of offside and face to face when we're doing maybe a chili cook-off or something. But
only guy to beat Chris at a chili cook-off. Killed him.
His wife beat him once. It was vegetarian chili, man.
No, she did a white chili. It was a white chili. That's what she did. She did
nice.
Chili, man.
I would have loved to taste that.
It was fucking good.
I could
I had to concede.
I would concede too.
But my question, though, Carl, out of your astronomical amount of experience in supporting people, providing infrastructure, what would you say when you're in that mode? Like, what is the number one most important thing that you need to have in place when you're supporting people and helping people out?
What do you mean? In what capacity, though?
So, like, when you're kind of dealing with like past mission in Afghanistan where you're kind of like providing quarters support and just like logistics, like, and I guess for me the best way to put that is like when you're providing logistical support and everything you've done, what is the number one constant or the most important thing you have on your checklist?
for me is one, stay calm. Two, you've got to always have your wits about you, right? Know who you're talking to. Read the room. Read the man. Understand what you're in. It's still today, we go into bars, we go into places. Where's the nearest exit? Who's the biggest guy? Where am I going to get the trouble from? Where do I need to sit? All right. We all do that. You do that instinctively. When you've served in an operational area, you do that. I find myself doing that all the time.
Yeah.
And Chris knows where to find me in the bar because I'm easy to spot. I'm closest to the exit, back against the wall. I can see everybody. So you see what's coming, right? Understand that. Living in Mexico, there are places you're going to go that are spectacular. But still, that's that air about you of caution. Be cautious, right? And that's, to me, is always be calm and read the room and read the man you're talking to. Because not all everybody has your best interests at heart, right?
Appreciate that. Thanks, Carl.
Yeah, I think everybody does it instinctively anyway, right? We all do it.
But I like how you spun that though. Like you said, it's like you have your two things. You're making sure you're good and you're able to provide whatever you can for them, but it's also customizing it. Like really reading this person. It's like, okay, this guy needs a place to stay. This guy needs some water. This guy needs this. This guy needs that. So I just want to say I commend you for that, and I really that's definitely that's
what
definitely.
Do you do?
Well, for me, like it's more rigorous. Like I'm very much like feed water. I'm the guy that defaults to food and water. Doesn't matter what you're bringing me, what you're telling me, how you're telling me, all this other garbage. It's like I can't connect to you and give you that customization for what you need until you're fed and watered. I don't even want to talk to you until that. And then from there, when you have those two big things kind of dealt with, come talk to me. I can't.
It's like when the boys come down. Sorry to cut you off. It's like when the boys come down, right? I know that I better have beer in the house. Right? They don't need water. They don't want water, and they don't want to be fed. But you better have beer at the airport when I pick you up. Beer. At home when I drop you off. Beer. I got, your bed's made, your stuff's ready. Hey man, there you go. Square yourself off. They don't even do that. They just chuck their shit on the bed and let's have a beer. We'll worry about the rest of that shit later, right?
Yeah.
It's knowing who you're dealing with, and that to me is so important, right? I don't have to cook for Chris, right? I say, hey, let's have some breakfast. Oh man, let's have Bailey's and coffee, and we do that every day. Again, it's knowing who you're dealing with, understanding what they are, and if it's from somebody from a different culture, is spending that time to listen and learn.
Yeah, it's a good way to circle back, definitely. Like, and I think, like through this conversation, I think what we've been tiptoeing around is realizing that you're a guest. And I don't think that's kind of emphasized enough, as you are a guest in this person's country or this country, and do your best to kind of understand some of these nuances. And I like how you, like, even when you started with this, like a really difficult situation, really difficult, you're in a bad spot, right? And it's just like, just knowing it's like, this is the culture, and you know what, I'm going to help this guy out. You might not be like, and that's the thing, like it might obviously be polarizing, a little scary, but like with you kind of getting yourself out of that situation, you're kind of helping this individual out because you can, like, you have that ability to do that, and you're in that situation, right?
I'll give you a really good example of, a North American coming down to Sayulita. I want to build a hotel. Yeah, I got all this money. You don't know who you're dealing with. Yeah, get a contractor, because all the really good contractors, you have to wait. I've got my property. I want my building plans. I want to build, right? The guy next door to me did that, and the contractor ran away with his money. So now there's an eyesore for a building right next door to me, and nobody's done nothing with it in a year. because the guy ran away with his money. That's the facts of life, man.
And but that's also reality up here too, right? Yeah, same
Exactly.
thing can happen here.
Exactly.
Same
You
thing.
know what? You gotta know who you're talking to and understand and look at what's the history on that dude. You know, it's like building a house. You're right. Absolutely right. Building a house in Canada. Give me your portfolio. Show me some of your houses you built. Let's take a walk through. Let's walk through some of the builds that you've made, you know. And the guy who built my house, I'm telling you, man, he's the most honest. The guy's got more money than I could ever have. Come on, he ain't gonna steal from me, right? And you have to do your homework, right? And if you don't, and you know, Chris hit it on the nail. Network. I still network.
Sure.
And I've been down
Absolutely.
here for years, and we went to
What is Chris doing right now?
What's
Like,
that?
is he just sitting there
Drinking
just smoking
beer.
and yeah, he's doing nothing.
Drinking beer.
Morgan, what do you got? Oh, there he is.
I'm drinking, man.
There with your fake blue screen background. That's what's going on.
Right.
I'm listening to you railroad the entire conversation.
Listen, you love it, Chris. You love it.
No, I think
Morgan, though, buds, what do you got to say? You're just sitting there, just rubbing your hair back in your glitchy camera there. So I feel like you got something to say. Like, what's going on?
No, I don't really have that much to say. I mean, I kind of agree with everything you guys are saying. Like, yeah, like you know, just
Networking.
I don't really have that much to add to the conversation, other than the fact is, yeah, just you know, make sure you get your head fucking screwed on, and yeah, when you go anywhere new,
Oh, that's a
like
good point.
Chris said, make sure you're networking.
Yeah, you got it. I'm out.
Make sure you know what you're doing, right? Because you know, if you like, if it'd be one of those things. Like
Thanks,
I've
Carl.
noticed it.
You're welcome, man.
Everybody,
Yeah, way more entertaining than that Chris guy.
Listen, you did a great job of completely deflecting the conversation, JT. I always can help you with that, or always thank you for that. So it's good. Yeah. So actually, Carl brought up a good point. Unlike people, I don't want to pick on countries, so I'll just say those who may live between Canada and Mexico, learn some basic phrases. Show some respect to the country that you're visiting, whether it's in Europe, whether it's down here. Try to learn basic phrases.
Dos cerveza, por favor.
Dos cerveza, por favor. Right? Shit like
Banos. Uela Banos.
That's banjo. But anyway. It's
like a banjo?
The shitter.
Isn't that a banjo?
Banjo? No.
Banjo or banjo?
Thank you, Clark Griswold.
Mute myself here. Carry on.
There's the banjo. And they're like, we're taking that guy's money, man.
You're like banjo. We need the banjo.
Every American said
he's got his Philadelphia Flyers shirt on. Where's the banjo? Anyway, learn some basic the language of wherever you're going, whether it's Dutch, Czech, fucking German, Japanese, Mexican, Spanish, whatever, man. Learn the basics, because it shows them that you're trying. Say it with conviction. Look them in the eye. Don't look at your Google Translate. Try to engage in conversation, because that once they know you're confident, not afraid, they're less likely to fuck with you, right? So, and again, I'm not trying to drive. So back to the chat. I apologize. I'm really impaired right now.
You're not trying to drive a narrative there, Chris.
No,
that's the word you're looking for.
What I'm trying to say is you're getting the perspective of military guys, not necessarily what TripAdvisor would say. Like Carl was talking, read the room. We do that. We pick that fucking chair near the wall. We know where all the exits are. We know who the biggest fucking threat is in the room. And if it's a group of us, we create interlocking arcs of fire. Blah, 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 blah. I'm not saying you should do that as Joe listener. I'm saying you should kind of think maybe that way if you're in a place you're not familiar with. Once you're comfortable, you don't need to do that anymore. You can relax a little bit. But you should maintain a bit of a defensive posture wherever you are till you create that comfortable bubble, and that takes time to get there. And you should do that at home, too. You should do that at home. But that's a whole other pod. I'm going to talk about defense. Yeah, learn some of the language, man. Show some fucking respect. Don't be a tourist. You can
So,
spot.
so you're going like straight up Indiana Jones with this, where like Indiana Jones was
That's
like,
it. Full
"Hey,
whips and
learn the language wherever you go. First thing you need to do is learn the language."
Good. You
Like
should
Harrison Ford, just writing in his book there.
put in a little effort to learn basic phrases, man. Wait, what the hell's Wade talking about here? I
I
can't.
don't know. I
Read.
do it at home because the wife is mean. What?
Wade's got a lot to say. He travels a lot, man. Wade's a photographer, so I'm saying learn some basic.
Oh, I think that was in reference to the condo.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like, at the end of the day, what I'm saying is the locals know you're a fucking gringo.
Oh, they want your money, bro.
And they want your money, whether that's in the like I've been in Eastern Europe and taken for a ride by cab drivers going, I'm pretty sure this is not the fastest route. Less likely thanks to Google Maps now, but back in the day, that's what would happen. There's always somebody that's looking to make a buck, whether that's at home. See, you know how to navigate it at home because you're in your environment. When you're not in your environment, you think that that's people are trying to fuck you over and take your shit. Because at home, you won't let anybody hustle you. If you're walking down White Ave in Edmonton, you know the buskers are trying to get this and that out of you. You know how to fuck those guys off. But if you see some tourist, some backpacker from Australia handing these guys money, now the shoe's on the other foot when it's you. So you need to flip it. You need to figure it out. Who's going to try to roll you? Who's going to try to roll you? Learn the environment. Figure out where the hell you are. Be respectful of the culture. Don't dress like a tourist. Don't flash no cash. Don't wear no bling, and enjoy yourself. All this shit we're talking about might create a bit of paranoia. You know, Carl told a true story, but would he drive that route again? 100% he would, because he knows the drill now. He knows don't pull over on the side of the road. Pull into the gas station. Take care of your business there. Keep going. So
I almost wish the police in Canada were like the federales, where you could just give them fucking a couple $100, they fuck off. That'd be pretty convenient. I don't know about you, but I kind of like that system.
I'm kind of with you, man. Like if I could make a cop fuck off and leave me alone, if I could throw him a couple bucks, get out of my life, yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Anyway, to all you law enforcement people watching, listening,
Lot to unpack there. Lot to unpack.
We don't mean you.
We don't mean you. We mean the other guy.
Yeah, the other guy. The
other guy.
There's social networks down here too.
Yes, good point. So Carl brought up a good point. There's a lot of social networks down here, and anywhere you go.
Yeah.
If you're going to go somewhere, because expats live in Europe, they live in Central and South America, Mexico.
I think they live all over the world there, Chris.
Yeah.
That's why they call them expats, actually. I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah, I like the geography thing you're doing there, but
you can find those WhatsApp groups and things like that and talk to those people in real time. And you might get varying opinions depending on, who they are, but you got to take everything with a grain of salt. You can't trust any single source of information for anything. So let's what time is it? We're gonna wrap this shit up.
I think we should talk about guacamole.
I think you could talk about Carl made some guacamole, but I want to wrap it up because I'm on vacation. So
technically we got 5 minutes and I'm good for those 5 minutes. So I'm thinking
we
should talk
5
about
minutes.
guacamole.
Here's how we're gonna wrap this. We'll talk about guacamole right after this.
Right after.
One, do your homework. Okay, recce. Google everything you can about that and don't trust any one source. Look at all of it. Use social networking, social media. Find these groups. Talk to people. 2, know yourself. What kind of person are you? Are you adventurous and outgoing and confident? Are you traveling with a group or alone? Or are you, I want to just go hide in a fucking resort and chill on the beach and get my whatever. Like if you're that person, that's fine. So once you know those 2 things. 3, once you're there, don't be a tourist. Be like the gray man. Don't dress flashy. Don't flash no cash. If you've done that, your homework, you'll be fine. 3, what do we have? 3, 4, doesn't matter. Fucking drinking. Learn a bit of language. Show respect. Make eye contact with people. Confidence, and you are less likely to be a target. Look them in the eye. When you leave the bar, buenos noches, pay your bill, give them a little bit of a tip, come back the next night, They'll know who you are, a little more relaxing. These are all just little things that you can do to make your stay a little bit better if you're a little bit adventurous. What else? What else? What else? Oh, know where the medical
Carry the
facility.
minimals. The minimals. Carry the minimals.
No, this is your medic. Fucking this important shit. The first thing I do when I hit a place is where are the nearest medical facilities? Maybe you got a friend who had a surfing accident and his face is all fucked up. Maybe you rolled your ankle, maybe you bruised your ribs, maybe you got into a fight.
Oh yeah.
Know where the medical facilities are. I'm not talking about medical insurance and all that bullshit.
Dave.
Here's Dave. Dave's back. Speaking of surfing accidents, Mr. Dave Crossan's right behind me now.
Dave Crossan.
He was
Big Dave Crossan.
Did
doing
he fuck
great.
his face up or what?
He had a surfing accident. We'll leave it at that. So
Love you, Dave.
This is about to rapidly devolve. I'd love to talk guacamole, but that's another conversation for another pod. So yeah, Carl made some guac and he made some chorizo. And what else did you make?
I did some chorizo.
Bunch
I'm
of
gonna do
stuff.
some homemade chips.
Homemade chips, and we're gonna dip in the
Hey,
homemade guac.
Made chorizo. I'm jealous.
Yeah,
I'm jelly.
immerse yourself in the culture. Don't be afraid, but be cautious. I'm going to leave you with that.
Davey,
So,
Davey.
on that
Oh
note,
my God, Dave.
Yeah,
thanks,
baby.
boys.
Back from the attack.
We're going to wrap this up. 'Cause it's
I love it.
Okay,
Oh,
I
hang
wish I
tight,
had had
boys.
30 minutes ago.
Oh, there's
I
a
know.
fat chip
Hang
that's all
tight.
over me, man.
Oh, I
we-
know that.
yeah, the stories are about to come up. We got to keep this PG. Okay. I want to thank everybody that tuned in. I'm apologizing to get to all your comments because I'm on my small screen and shit. I'm mobile,
Hey, it was great
so it
meeting
is what
those
it
guys.
is. Yeah.
Have a good night.
Fire for Effect Live is brought to you by DeanBlundell.com. Go to DeanBlundell.com for Canada's largest digital source of sports, news, and podcasts. You can find Fire for Effect on DeanBlundell.com and a plethora of other podcasts. Brought to you by Mr. Hooper Inc. That's Bryce's organization that provides alternative sources of conventional medicine, and the good people at Mr. Jeff None's Farm, Lakeside Farmstead. If you want some mint Wagyu crossed beef or some outstanding dairy products, look at Lakeside Farmstead on all your social media platforms. And with that being said, it's a wrap. It's been a lot of fun. We will be live. I'll be back in the cold weather of Edmonton next week. So thanks for tuning in, and we are fucking out.